This show is sponsored by Alicia's Pillows and Things. Check out the Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things, where you will find home decor you will not be able to resist at prices anybody can afford. Check out the pillows and stools of your favorite sports teams. Maybe you want a set of your kid's favorite cartoon or movie character. You can also get full body and neck pillows as well. Log on to ngscsports.com and go to the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage to complete your order. It makes a great gift for Christmas at an affordable price. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
Excuse me. Okay, so I've got us 2 tickets for Saturday.
Cool.
You down?
Sure.
All right. I've got to read the thing. I'm trying to figure out what time we can actually go in.
Gotcha.
Or it might be like 1 o'clock we can go in or something. It said something like they open the thing at like 11, but that might be for like the VIP people.
Okay.
Apparently, like the VIP tickets sold out in like 4 minutes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, it does at least show that there is a want for it. Mm-hmm. So the girl I'm kind of dating, she wanted to go, but I haven't broken the news to her yet that they were sold out of tickets.
Oh no.
So yeah, she's actually been pretty cool. She went and watched both the Barcelona.
Oh, I feel bad. I mean, if you want to give her my ticket, I'd understand, dude.
Totally up to you. I mean, this is the Foreign Affair All New Sports Show Derby.
Oh, I know.
It's our fault.
Oh no, I totally get it. I just I wouldn't feel super bad if you wanted to take her instead. I would totally get it. So.
Well, I'll let you decide because she will give me the exact same thing. She'll be like, oh, no, you two go. So,
we'll still plan on going then. That's fine.
All right, that's cool.
I just, if she really wanted to go, because I'm guessing she probably hasn't then.
She has been a Liverpool fan literally for about a month now. So.
Okay. I was like
I said, she saw the 2 Barcelona matches. So.
I was like, if there's a way to introduce her to a Champions League final, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
Not a bad way to do it.
Yeah. So I just had to break it to her that can get her a ticket. I mean, she'll be fine with it. I don't think she's going to have an issue. So.
All right. Well, if she does, or if she really, really wants to go, just let me know, and that's fine. But if she
screams at me and shouts at me and threatens to cut my balls off, then I might just have to take her.
That's understandable.
Thank you so much.
I'm looking out for you. That's what we do.
Watching the highlights from Europa.
Oh boy, what a fun match that was.
They said the first 45 minutes was the most desolate shit maybe ever.
It's
in a half full stadium.
Well, and plus. So there's 2 things that it had going against it. One is that the stadium has the Olympic track around the pitch, so that's bad. And then it's is really zoomed out. Yeah. So it's just really bad.
Yeah.
I also have something else I want to drop on you in case you didn't know during the pod, because I didn't realize this until the match was actually going on. Somebody said something on Twitter. So
I was kind of listening to it on TalkSport. I was in Greenville today, and I was on TalkSport while I was doing my stuff up there.
Mm-hmm. Well, what better cure for talk sport than the Foreign Affair podcast?
Well, luckily, it was just their coverage of the actual match. So luckily, it was just like Jim Proudfoot.
Jim Proudfoot's great. Oh.
Yeah, luckily it was just him. So once all that time to start, analyzing. I was like, this off now.
That's a good idea. Well, don't turn us off, though. My name is Edward Green. I'm joined, as always, by my calling crime, Wes Bradshaw, here for the latest edition of the AFA Pod. Big week. Shockingly big week. Didn't think it was going to be this big of a week about 2 months ago, but it is. And, of course, we're not just talking about the Europa League Final. That was today / tomorrow / now / time zones are weird. But don't worry, we'll get to that later. As we'll do a Europa League review from earlier today. We'll also review the Football League Championship Playoff Final. Was Monday at like 11 a.m. local time here on the East Coast of the United States. Weird time zones. So we'll go over that. And as well as, of course, talk about the Champions League final that is this Saturday, the AFA Derby, which will be taking place in Madrid this Saturday afternoon. Hope against hope that the world doesn't explode as Spurs take on Liverpool in the Champions League final. So we will be talking about that. We'll also have a little bit of news and notes to get to, not too much going on. And then, of course, we'll have to watch for and a very special So Raw, although maybe in the future we'll have to change the name to So AEW.
Elite Raw? Yeah. So Raw Elite.
So Raw Elite. That might have to become the new name. We'll get to that definitely later on in the pod. As always, though, before we get started, we gotta let you guys know we are presented by NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. We never stop, as well as Alicia's Pillows and Things. If you saw Brock Lesnar dancing with the Money in the Bank briefcase and said, I want something like that briefcase, but I want it in pillow form, check out Alicia's Pillows and Things. She can hook you up with some great pillows and ottomans with your favorite sports team logo on them. So go check that out at Alicia's Pillows and Things on Facebook. And finally, do you have Roku TV? There's no way you can answer me, person listening to this. But if you do, you can visit Roku.com. I know, I'm angry too. Or you can pick up the remote at Best Buy and others. If you have or get Roku TV, search the Ultimate Sports Channel for free sports programming. You can find them on the web at esgsportsgroup.com. On Twitter, they are Nasha_sports, and then Nasha Sports at the rest of the social media places. So check that out for the Ultimate Sports Channel. Now for the Ultimate Sports Europa League matchup. Woo! Amazingness. Oh, God. Baku. Never again. Just UEFA, please. Never again. This was bad. Obviously, if you guys did not see some of the Twitter posts that were made of people who were wearing Henrik Mkhitaryan kits coming into the stadium and being stopped by police, as we talked about last week with Mkhitaryan being Armenian, and the conflict that was going on between them. He obviously did not travel to the match because of fear for his safety. And Arsenal fans were also harassed, might be a decent word to use, from the police. So already not a great look as things settled in Baku. And then, of course, on Tuesday, video comes out from Chelsea's training session of David Luiz, and I believe it was Higuain, getting into a bit of a shoving match with each other that sent Coach Maurizio Sarri running off the pitch, down the tunnel, and kicking his hat. And it's, oh God, Chelsea are imploding. Arsenal have all the momentum, blah, 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 blah. And then after 45 minutes of insanely drab football, Chelsea did strike through Olivier Giroud, getting the start in this match over Higuain. He was able to put one through in the 49th minute. And then Pedro gets the second in the 60th on a lovely assist from Eden Hazard. Hazard would get his own in the 65th minute after he was fouled in the box by Ainsley Maitland-Niles. That was the 65th minute, so all of a sudden it's 3-0 Chelsea. Alex Iwobi would come on and with one of his first touches put in a rocket into the back of the net in the 69th minute to give Arsenal a bit of hope. But then Eden Hazard would score his second of the match and probably his final goal for Chelsea in the 72nd minute that put the match away for good. Chelsea gets the 4-1 victory in Baku. They win the Europa League. They will be getting that pot 1 spot in the Champions League next season, and they deny Arsenal a return trip to the Champions League. As for the second straight season, Arsenal fall in the Europa League final, and for probably the second straight season, fall to the best team in the Europa League, with Arsenal probably being the second best. Last year, of course, it was Atletico Madrid. This year, it's Chelsea. Wes, this is one of those matches where you think Arsenal might have a chance, you think Chelsea might be a little dysfunctional, and then Chelsea just come out, especially in the second half, and show the absolute class that they did have at points this season and poured it on Arsenal, who still are struggling so badly defensively.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, that's the thing is, oh me, so shit at the back. It looked like they may be in this match, and then all of a sudden they just got completely blitzed by Chelsea. And I mean, God, man, when you look at Chelsea, Chelsea's just one of those. They're a complete head scratcher because, where was this team all year? Where were they when they were supposed to give a shit?
Yeah,
and they didn't. But end of the day, I mean, Chelsea definitely a better squad. They definitely had the best player on the field in Eden Hazard. Once again in a big game, Mesut Ozil did his best impression of blending with the grass.
Man, when Joe Willock comes on for the last 20 minutes and looks way better than you, it's probably not a good sign.
Yeah, but hey, he's going to get paid.
Yeah, by somebody.
Well, probably Chelsea's also anybody else paying him all that money. He goes to China or something.
PSG.
But yeah, I mean, end of the day, I mean, what more can you say? It was a drab final for 45 minutes, as you said. The stands were half full. It's an embarrassment to UEFA.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chelsea had about a good 15, 20 minutes where they just ran away with it. It looked like it 3-0. It looked like Arsenal may have a chance when they made it 3-1.
Yeah, 3-0 comebacks, all the rage these days.
Yeah, man, that's exactly what they said on TalkSport was, said it's been a while since an English club's come from 3-0 down. Said it's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
So, why not? But then, that was extinguished. And, I mean, Eden Hazard was just, as he has been a lot this year, he's just a class above everyone else on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when he shows up and looks like he gives a damn, and he's able to get some room to operate, shit, pack it up, man. He's a stud.
He really is, and he is going to get paid this summer, it looks like. Probably not by Chelsea anymore.
Well, the rumor is that on June the 3rd,
Monday,
he will be unveiled. That's the word. And, if you look at his post-match comments today, he sure did thank Chelsea and their fans a lot for all these years at Chelsea. I mean, he's all but said he's leaving. So, I mean, if he ends up sticking around, it's going to be one of those, okay.
This is awkward.
Awkward, one of those kind of moments. So,
I do think it's... I was going to say... You talked about the attendance at the match. The reported attendance was 51,000.
That's bullshit.
Which, first of all, yes. Second of all, the capacity of the Olympic Stadium in Baku is 68,700. So they came in at about 17,000 plus short of capacity. There was also reports that half of the allotted tickets for Chelsea and Arsenal fans, of which only were 12,000, as we talked about last week, half of those 12,000 were returned. So only about 6,000 of those tickets were even used. There was other corporate tickets that were returned. This was a big cluster for UEFA. And then this was the thing I wanted to drop on you that I didn't realize until halfway through the match. When someone on Twitter, I think it was after the second Chelsea goal, put on Twitter, they were like, well, you know, it makes sense that this Europa League final wouldn't get going until it was officially Thursday. And I was like, that's funny because they play on Thursday. And then I was like, oh shit, when did this match actually start? It started at 11 p.m. local time there.
Yeah.
Are you...
Because you had to get on TV.
But why? Oh my God.
Well, because, I mean...
But isn't that like 8 o'clock England time?
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing is you start these matches where it's prime time in the bigger European market, you know, because that's 9 p.m. in Paris. Mm-hmm. And I believe I believe Spain and Paris are on like the same time zones, and you know maybe it's even a little later in Italy, but you know you're just you know those are the markets you're looking at. Who gives a shit who's watching the match in Azerbaijan?
I just and like you can't bump it to like 6 p.m. England time, like with moving it up 2 hours to 9 p.m. local time, like would that really be so, or whatever it would take? Like, come on.
Because it's already Wednesday night to start with, and B, trying to get every eyeball you can get because this is shit. And also, I mean, these ended up being 2 English teams, so you know, you want to try to maximize as much of your English market as you can. And I mean, that was the issue. I mean, you think about last year with you know, Liverpool and Madrid playing in Kiev. I mean, that game had a late local time start. It's because you're looking to get the prime time in the bigger European markets in London and Paris, in Barcelona and Madrid. I mean, that's where you're looking to get the big ones in Berlin and Munich and all those places.
I wonder, do we just need to move like the Champions League final to a Sunday and just play the Europa League final the day before on a Saturday, so we don't have to play it at like 11 o'clock at night?
It is a very wise man. I believe it was the Rizzo once said, "Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar, bill, y'all."
I don't doubt all that. I know this is
all about the money.
It's pie.
It's all about the monies. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's why they even played this damn match in this godforsaken hellhole.
Yeah, oh man. I guess the last thing we should talk about, unless you have more stuff you want to add on to this.
For you know, just a couple little tidbits. Unai Emery, this was his 4th appearance in the Europa League final. The first time he lost it.
Yeah.
So you know, no one knows Europa like Unai. And for Maurizio Sarri, I believe it was his 29th season as a head football manager, and his first ever trophy.
Wow. I can double check that.
Well, I know it's his first ever trophy.
Okay.
I have plenty. I think it's 29 years. And I don't know what we have in news and notes, but Sarri apparently may take his Europa trophy and turn it into one of the biggest jobs in world football. So.
That's true. We can talk about that in news and notes. I didn't have it on. Yeah, we can certainly talk about that.
I don't think he sent me anything this week. So.
Well, let's go ahead and bring it up then now, because my last topic was gonna kind of be not so much to do a Chelsea season review, because obviously we'll do that, you know, about a week before the Premier League season starts again.
Yeah, usually in August. That's when we do our season review.
But my question is, if Azar does in fact leave, Kovacic and to a lesser extent Higuain, with the transfer ban in place, they're kind of in limbo. Some people have said they can be signed on permanent. Some people said they can't, and some people are suggesting with Higuain maybe you shouldn't even bother. With Maurizio Sarri, as Wes is alluding to, is that with Juventus getting rid of Allegri this last week, with his reign finishing up now with Serie A being done, Maurizio Sarri has been floated as a potential person to come in. Personal terms, I believe, have, depending on who you believe, already been agreed to with that job. And I guess the question is, if Hazard and Sarri are out the door and a transfer ban is incoming, where does Chelsea go from here? I mean, they're going to be in the Champions League. They're the reigning Europa League title holders. They're better than, I think, a little bit, even although they are losing Eden Hazard, which has been so key to them. They're probably still better than Arsenal and United. It's such, as you said about their entire season being so weird, the state of them moving forward might be even weirder.
I mean, really, it is. It's because, I mean, you've got a manager I don't think is wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think wants to particularly be there at this point. But he is, and there's no guarantee that Chelsea, who, you know, are as trigger happy as anyone in the world with changing a manager, oh man, there's so much swirling around Chelsea. There's so many questions going around, and I mean that's a huge one. You know, is Sarri going to stay? Are they going to have the transfer ban? You know, what can you do with Hazard? Who do you bring in? The name I've heard floated the most that would replace Sarri is Javi Gracia from Watford.
Okay.
And the reason for that is if you're planning for a transfer ban, you bring in Gracia. Gracia is very well known as a training ground manager,
mm-hmm.
and that would be a positive for Chelsea if they can't bring anyone else in. This is a guy who's not can't give me £200 million, then I'm not coming.
Mm-hmm.
And if I've got a ban, I'm not coming. You know, for Gracia, it would obviously be the biggest chance of his career.
Right.
And also they feel that he wouldn't have such an issue, you know, not having any new transfers coming in and just being able to train up the players that
mm-hmm.
he has at his disposal. So, you know, maybe that's a chance coming in. That would be a very un-Chelsea-like hire.
Mm-hmm.
That said, that might be exactly what they need is an un-Chelsea-like hire.
Right.
But I mean, you want to. I don't know if there's any team in world football with more questions around it right now going into the summer than Chelsea. And that is coming off the back of winning a major European competition.
Yeah, it's crazy, and obviously, if Hazard does leave, that leaves so many holes, you know. And with Ruben Loftus-Cheek getting hurt. Just
mm-hmm.
about a week ago, with Callum Hudson-Odoi getting hurt as well. I think he might be back in like November-ish.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before he's back.
Then are you basically relying on Olivier Giroud, who, yes, he did score in this, but has always been more of a super sub kind of guy with Chelsea than being that main threat? You know, does Higuain stick around? You know, when the guy that brought him in goes out the door. You know, where does this team go from here? There's a lot of question marks around this team, and you know, we've heard, you know, there's been rumors N'Golo Kante might leave, and it's very interesting to see what's going on at Chelsea right now, given the results they got this season. When you just look at like the end product, 3rd place in the Premier League and the Europa League trophy and League Cup final. If I'm remembering correctly, League Cup final. Yeah.
Right.
So, not a bad season. It's just the path to get there was very circuitous and went through a lot of minefields, and a couple people died along the way. But, hey, you got Christian Pulisic coming in, so good for you guys. So, we'll have to see with Chelsea. That's going to be a fascinating subplot. Because, again, as far as I know, they still haven't actually appealed the transfer ban yet with the arbitration of sport people. So court arbitration of sport. So we'll see. We'll see.
So it's a good time to be a Chelsea loanee.
Yes.
Hey, of which there are many.
Finally, the chance is ours. Oh, man.
It's our chance. Danny Drinkwater's going, it's my chance. And then he's going, oh, damn it. Means I have to play.
Oh, man. There has, of course, been some switching around as one Premier League season ends and another begins. We had to say goodbye to some teams that were relegated and hello to some teams that were promoted, and the final promoted team is now known. It is going to be Aston Villa as they get a 2-1 victory over Derby County on an early Monday morning, East Coast time, at Wembley Stadium. Aston Villa struck around the halftime mark as Anwar El Ghazi got it to start off just before halftime. And then just on the hour mark, John McGinn got Aston Villa's second, and it looked like maybe they were well on their way. But Derby County came so close, got a goal from Martin Waghorn in the 81st minute, and then it just kept pouring on. The pressure and more pressure. Jack Marriott came on and was so good for Derby County, created so many chances. But in the end, Frank Lampard's men came so close. And once again, for Derby County, they fall just short at the finish line. So Villa do become the 20th team for the next Premier League season, and Derby County fall back down. It's been a fun year for Derby under Frank Lampard to get to this point. Also had, of course, that big run in, I want to say, the League Cup where they took down Manchester United.
Was it the FA Cup? Maybe it was the FA Cup.
One of those two. Definitely. I just remember they took down United and it was awesome. So we can check on that. But I believe this was Frank Lampard's first season at the helm of Derby County.
Right.
Great job. And hopefully this leads to bigger and better things, because it would be nice to see Derby County back in the Prem. But for right now, it does look like it will be Aston Villa's turn to see if they can reclaim their former glory in the Premier League. Because, I mean, they used to be a very good team, and then the last couple years they were in the Premier League, they were just...
Aston Villa have won Europe.
Yeah.
They're one of the English teams that have won the European Cup.
Nottingham Forest.
Believe? Yeah, I mean, Nottingham Forest, it's a great Manchester United, Chelsea. And then, of course, it's those stalwarts, Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa.
Yeah.
If you're like, wait, who the hell's Nottingham Forest? Yeah, all the new Premier League fans, especially, who the hell's Nottingham Forest?
Yeah.
What the hell? Isn't that like a Robin Hood or some shit? But yeah, Aston Villa had a really rough start to the season. You know, this is a team that lost in the promotion final a year ago. Mm-hmm. Lost kind of heartbreakingly when they were big favorites. And had a rough start to their season. But then after Christmas, man, they got it together under legendary North Carolina head basketball coach Dean Smith.
Yes.
He is risen. He is risen indeed. They are going up, and they were pretty much for the second half of the season. They were the best team in the championship. So I mean, well deserved for them to get back up there and get it. Of course, they bring their wonder boy Jack Grealish back up with them. Yeah. So now it looks like there's a good chance. I would figure there's a good chance now Jack Grealish is going to stick around for at least another year. Mm-hmm. He was hot on a lot of teams' radar. I know Tottenham had some interest in him. I mean, he's young, he's English, he can play, so you know somebody's going to overpay for him one day. But you've got to figure he'll probably stick around for another season. They call it the richest game in all of football. It's worth around £100 million to win this match, because that's what you're going to get going up to the Premier League. And Aston Villa are the team to do it. It was, it kind of sucked to see Derby have to go out. But that said, this was a Derby team that this is interesting about them. Derby didn't spend hardly any money. They really took good advantage of the loan system. They had some highly rated younger players from big clubs. I think the two main ones among them, Harry Wilson from Liverpool, who scored, I want to say, scored upwards of 20 goals this season, was involved in setting up a lot, had some amazing, I think he had 3 or 4 times had like the goal of the month in the championship. And then really, really, really highly rated midfielder Mason Mount, who is in the Chelsea system, who, of course, if this transfer ban holds, may see himself in the Chelsea squad next year. But it was one, there was a few that Frank Lampard, kind of ended up there because of Frank Lampard. And Mason Mount was one of them. But those guys were really, really crucial to Derby's success this year. So for Derby, if they want to get back to this level, they're going to have to get back and reconfigure. You've also got to think, is Frank Lampard going to be back for another season? His name has been bandied about. If Sarri ends up leaving Chelsea to potentially take the Chelsea job. Now, personally, and I think a lot of people feel this, you might be asking a little too soon for Frank Lampard at this point.
I agree.
But, I mean, just the fact that, he has gone a successful season. Apparently, he's gotten really good reviews from the guys who he coached. And, there is maybe a little groundswell. That would obviously be an extremely popular hiring within the Chelsea fan base because Frank Lampard's basically a god at Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
So, it was a really feel-good season for Derby, but it may have been a, kind of a one-season wonder, and they might have to slide back down a little bit before they're ready to make any back up. But Aston Villa, one thing about Aston Villa, they have Wolves potential in them.
Okay.
Because this is a team that within the last year has gotten a big time boost in their ownership. They have an Egyptian and an American billionaire, one of each, that came together. I believe their corporation is called NESW. Or their LLC, whatever they call it. But they own more than half of Aston Villa.
Okay.
And they are, from the sounds of it, they are invested to do something, not just get to the Premier League. They want to, they are ambitious like Wolves of the Premier League. So, and when you take into account, finally, this season, there was not a team in the Premier League from the second biggest city of England, which is Birmingham. So Aston Villa, I mean, they're coming from a huge city. That's really over. They're coming from a huge city. They do have great history. They are one of those legendary English clubs. So they could definitely have that sleeping giant status kind of put to them. And I'm sure something else we'll talk about news and notes. Team that could have sleeping giant status reapplied to them. Maybe if some ownership things go through, but it's an exciting time, I think, right now for Aston Villa fans because I think they see a chance to maybe start to bring back some past glories.
Well, certainly that is a case, and it's something that, especially with the Wolves, that Wolves played this Premier League season, it shows that
the Spurs,
if you spend money, well, you can't include the Spurs with this one because if you spend money, and you spend on the right players, good things can happen. Hopefully, this summer we'll see Spurs spend money on the right players, and that'll be great.
Just any players will do.
That's true. Good players. It helps to be good, but somebody would be great.
Just breathing and having a pulse and going the first team would be a help.
Well, speaking of Tottenham, we'll close our match talk with a quick preview of the match coming up this weekend at the Wanda Metropolitano in Madrid, as it will be Tottenham Hotspur versus Liverpool in the Champions League final. This will be Liverpool's 9th appearance in the Champions League final, or the biggest tournament in Europe's final. This is Tottenham Hotspur's. Yes, this is Tottenham Hotspur's first. So, yeah.
A lot of things on the line here. Liverpool. See real quick. I just want to triple check this before I say it, but if it's a big one for Liverpool. Obviously, for everybody. If Liverpool win it, they become the sole third place team all time for the European Cup, and it leaves them one behind AC Milan. Mm-hmm. It would be Liverpool 6, Milan has 7, of course, Real Madrid at 13. Nobody's catching them anytime soon. But I'll put it this way: if Liverpool can get 6, they're a hell of a lot closer to winning it again than Milan.
That's true. Milan ain't going back next year.
No, I mean, it kind of helps to be in the tournament. So.
Yes.
And then that would break a deadlock in third place. Barcelona, Liverpool, and Bayern Munich all with 5 European Cups. So that will move Liverpool up. Obviously for Tottenham, this is. I'm not trying to downplay Tottenham, but a lot of people I think felt Liverpool had this run. Mm-hmm. I don't know anyone who thought Tottenham had this run.
We had 1 point in 3 matches in the group stage.
Exactly. You were down 3-0 at halftime.
We were prepping like, God, should we just finish 4th in the group stage so we don't even have to play in Europa?
Exactly. So this is Liverpool obviously had year, and they've been building toward it. Tottenham was just like, where the hell did these guys come from? Yeah. So Tottenham kind of playing. To me though, that gives Tottenham their little bit of advantage. They're playing with absolutely nothing to lose. No one's expecting them to be here. Oh, yeah. I don't think many people are expecting them to go win this match. I mean, really, I think the only people who expect them to win are maybe some really diehard Tottenham fans, and then the fans who just despise Liverpool and just are praying that they don't win. That's really about it at this point. But it is a Liverpool won both matches they played this year. I believe both of them were 2-1.
Yes. Right? Mm-hmm.
So both of them were 2-1. Especially the match at Tottenham. Liverpool were the much better team that day. Mm-hmm. It just, some crazy shit kind of conspired near the end, but then at Anfield it was a much closer match. And I'm expecting, to see a good match on Saturday. These are two teams that know played good matches with each other. Liverpool went through a little stretch where they were blowing Tottenham out, but Tottenham have certainly closed that gap. And the last few years, these have been really, really entertaining matches. Mm-hmm. And if you get something like that here on the European final stage, that would be awesome television just for those involved. Of course, both of us, we don't want exciting matches. We just want our team to go comfortably win and lift the trophy. I will say this, if it's a match, it's going to be Liverpool. Mm-hmm. Just because I don't think Tottenham have it in them to just let their fans have an easy match.
Oh, no.
I think Tottenham were like, no, we're good. You're going to know it, and half of you are going to be dead by the time it's over. So. Apparently Harry Kane has fit.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Jamie Carragher's not happy about that.
Well, I haven't heard Carragher's thoughts.
It was funny. He's like, he was kind of mad that they're playing it this late, I guess, in the year, which I guess because normally it is around Memorial Day. It is around that weekend, but it is playing a week later.
Usually it would have been last week.
Which I think the reason they're doing it this year, or at least a big part of it, is because it looks like something weird happened with the European calendar, because Serie A didn't finish until this past weekend. And normally everybody's done. So I don't know if it's because of the winter break some leagues take.
I think usually everybody's done within a week of each other.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time you will see the FA Cup final the week after the season. Mm-hmm. And then, that's usually finish it up. But yeah, this year, God, Serie A ran long. I don't know, but
So anyway,
but yeah,
everybody's healthy pretty much. I think for this one.
Here would be my only issue if I'm a Spurs person with Harry Kane. Obviously, Harry Kane's your best player.
We don't want that Diego or not Diego. Diego Costa.
Yeah, Diego Costa. You don't want that. And B, theory at this point, where obviously they played their best going forward. So I mean, it comes down to how Pochettino decides he wants to use him. I think it is virtual insanity to start him in this match. If it's me, at about the 70-minute mark, that's when you maybe start looking at the sideline. There's no bloody way that you can play this guy 90 minutes and possibly 30 minutes of extra time. There's absolutely no way. I mean, he hasn't played in 2 months. He has no match sharpness. Like I said, man, if anything to me in this match, Harry Kane's in. So I think that's a huge decision that Pochettino has to make. To me, it's a cut and dry decision, but
very excited to see Kane starting on Saturday. So.
Yeah, there you go. And subbed off at what about the 24?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. At which point you'll just look at me, drop your head.
No, that's how it has to be. That's how it has to be the pure Ewing theory. He has to start, go down 1-0, get subbed off, and then Tottenham comes back to win. That's how it's meant to be. That's the script.
Hit me, Jesus. But either way, that is something. Now, Ida, which. I don't know, someone, the Ghanaian head coach says, he'll be able to play in the finals. Firmino is back healthy, though. So, I mean, for Klopp, I mean, he's got his complement of who he wants to go with. Something I don't think I ever noticed this before. Maybe I think they just started doing it this year. Apparently, you can carry like 11 guys on the bench for this match.
Oh yeah, the Europa Final is the same thing. It's a huge traveling team. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you can travel. I think 26.
Yeah, we were traveling 26. We're traveling 4 keepers. So
yeah, I mean you can basically take the kids with you. And, everybody gets to make the bench, which does present some some options. It does give you a few more options in case something does happen. And also, I believe there's an injury time sub.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Not injury time, extra time.
Extra time sub. That's it. Yeah. So, Jesus. I mean, they're really playing with the game here, but whatever.
I actually kind of like it just because
I'm down.
I've seen a lot of times, you use your 3 substitutes and then you get to extra time and it's like the 112th minute and you're like, everybody's just kind of really tired. It'd be really nice to just get like one more fresh body onto the pitch, or God forbid somebody gets an injury, in like the 95th minute, and you're like, well, guess there's nothing we can do now. So I think I actually like this change. So
yeah, I mean, I don't have an issue with it. It's just suddenly you've got to the final and a lot of new rules all of a sudden. So it's like you had to be able to keep up with everything, but I mean, I think it is an interesting final. Predictions. I mean, why are we going to predict? I'm picking Liverpool, and I've got a feeling you're going to pick Tottenham. So
I'm picking
Tottenham at this point.
I'm picking Tottenham 3-1. We go down early. We get an early goal in the second half. Get our second in like the 85th minute, and then Musa Sissoko scores a breakaway open netter for the third, in like the 93rd minute.
Because Allison's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm picking Liverpool. I'm picking Liverpool 3-0. And I mean, we'll see what happens, and hopefully, we'll get something good. We'll get something exciting, and man, I mean, it's Madrid. All we can say, it's a hell of a lot better than
Yes.
I believe it'll be a better. Product put on television.
Hey, and neither one of us are playing for a Champions League spot. Ooh.
That's right. Yeah, for both of us, it's just gravy on top of our seat.
Yeah.
Even though there is that Liverpool group that's If Klopp don't win it, you got to get rid of him because he's a bottom.
I'm excited. I'm excited if Spurs do win it. I'm excited for the cheeky Arlo White tweet of, but Spurs still haven't won the Carabao Cup. Oh. The failures, the lot of them. Oh man, it'll be fun. It'll be fun times. It'll be great.
Yep. And
I'll probably throw up at some point.
For Liverpool, if Liverpool win this, they will have a chance that this match and then their next 2 official matches, we can bring home silverware because, of course, we may have mentioned last week with Manchester City winning the FA Cup, the second and being the league champions, the second place league team now gets into the Community Shield, which, as we know, is the most important of all the cups.
Oh, Arsene Wenger won dozens, so it has
we've always known this. It's the most important of the cups.
Yeah,
and then also the UEFA
Super Cup.
Super Cup, that's right.
Yeah.
So obviously the winner of this Super Cup and Liverpool, like we said, will have the chance to play in the Community Shield. So, they say Klopp don't win trophies. Well, Klopp's got a chance now to literally win 3 trophies in 3 matches.
That'd be a fun way to start your season. Just start it with back-to-back City and Chelsea.
Oh, it would be nice. Oh, damn, yeah, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, it's Chelsea.
Chelsea's already in it, so it'll be waiting.
Oh, Europe's going to get sick of England and all these tournaments.
Oh, well. I'll tell you, it don't look like much is going to be changing anytime soon.
It's true. Spain doesn't look great. Anyway, we'll get to that on a later date. So again, that's Saturday at the Wanda Metropolitano. Imagine Dragons will be there. Whoop-de-doo. News and notes now. And a story Wes was definitely alluding to earlier. We'll start with this one. The Bin Zayed Group confirmed they have agreed to terms with Mike Ashley over the sale of Newcastle United. This is Sheikh Khaled of the Bin Zayed Group has confirmed he has agreed to terms with Mike Ashley over the purchase. This is coming to us from 90minute.com. Ashley has owned the club since 2007, but as we know for a long time, Newcastle fans not really a big fan of Mike Ashley anymore. So the Bin Zayed Group has been financed by Dubai-based billionaire Sheikh Khaled. So that will be more Middle East oil money coming into the Premier League potentially.
Actually, that's the cousin of Sheikh Mansour.
Yes, who owns our partial owner of Manchester City. Yes.
Now, to be the devil's advocate on...
Sure.
This is I believe I read this is the time in 12 years, quote, agreed to sell the club. So that hadn't really gone off. And also this group were in very, very early talks with FSG last year over possibly purchasing Liverpool.
Ooh.
And when they came to very early, they couldn't produce no money.
Uh-oh.
So,
that's
important. Now that said, with this, they're saying it's a £350 million, which to you and me sounds like a lot of money. The Liverpool agreement was for £2 billion.
Oh boy!
So it might be a little easier to come up with 350 than $2 billion.
Yeah.
But just as what was it? Oh God, I saw a tweet. It said I'm not gonna believe till Jamal Lascelles is holding up the Carabao Cup. So, because this is Newcastle, aim smart. Newcastle are kind of considered by many one of the English super clubs, just historical wise. That said, they have not won a trophy since 1969, so they're a little overdue.
Yeah.
But we talk about a sleeping giant, and everyone talks about St. James Park and the atmosphere, and
Rafa.
Newcastle. Yeah, that's the thing too. Right now Rafa's not re-signed.
Yeah.
So Rafa's out there. Obviously Rafa's got to because, and I'll finally have more than just money to buy a Happy Meal in the transfer market. So, I mean, it would be huge. It would be another one that would then take into account the Big Six. You take into account Wolves are coming with money. We've just talked about Aston Villa potentially coming with some money. Everton, with their new ownership over the last few years, they've started spending more money.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you come up with suddenly Newcastle having some financial clout, I mean, buddy, the Premier League's only going to get more and more competitive.
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but it's only going to get more and more competitive. So let's get ready for Manchester United to finish 12th next year.
That would be the day. And I think it's kind of funny because you texted me this story, and my response to this was, I don't know whether to be happy or sad about this. And I guess because the question just keeps coming back, yes, Mike Ashley could be finally gone because Mike Ashley is a terrible owner and does not deserve to have the club. But then we could also get more oil money in the Premier League, which is something we've been sort of against for the last couple of years, especially seeing what happened to City. And we talked about it last week with the financial fair play stuff and how they've been constantly scrutinized for all that. So I'm just wary anytime I start hearing about Dubai-based billionaires coming into the Premier League. It makes me, especially when there are actual like familial ties with Manchester City in this. It makes me
literally worse.
Yeah, it just makes me a little sketchy when I hear this. I'm just I guess this is what you have to do to compete now, but it just makes me feel kind of skeezy, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, my thing is I have a soft spot for Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd like to see Newcastle be back up competing in that near the top of the table. I think that would be really cool. But at the same time, it's like you say, how do you get there? And, yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, it's, well, as you mentioned, it's not over until it's over. So maybe we'll just keep on. The devil we know with Mike Ashley. Hooray. Speaking real quick of Everton, just one of our first deals of the summer going through. Everton are bringing on Jonas Lossell, who is coming over from Huddersfield Town, the keeper, coming on a 3-year deal. Bit of an interesting move considering Everton spent pretty big, I believe it was last year, on Jordan Pickford to be their main keeper, but I guess he'll be a decent backup coming over from Huddersfield. And obviously, coming from Huddersfield, he had a lot of chances for saves last year to get some practice in. So good for you, Mr. Lossell. And then speaking, unless you had a comment on this.
It's Everton. Who cares?
Well, speaking of Everton, who cares? Our final story in News and Notes comes from a former Evertonian. Someone we affectionately like to refer to as Spanish Bob. And they talk that this is very, very rumor mill, but I see Roberto Martinez and I have to put it in the docket. Roberto Martinez to discuss future with Belgian FA amidst links with Barcelona job. Man, talk about failing upwards. Ernesto Valverde, the current manager at Barcelona, has come under fire after the way they capitulated against Liverpool. The Champions League final. They also lost in the final of the Copa del Rey, which was kind of a shocker to Valencia. Even though Barcelona did win the league, there's a lot of questions over Valverde's reign there. And so it seems like maybe Roberto Martinez might be a name to go to Barcelona. Oh, God. I don't understand. How does this man keep going, getting better jobs?
How does he keep failing upward?
How?
And I mean, I guess we can't totally say that he failed with Belgium, but to me, I still think they were better than. I still think they were better than the semifinals.
Yeah. Well, they lost to Wales a couple years ago in one of the Euros, right?
Yeah. Well, that was still Wilmot's, I believe. So
Oh, okay.
I don't think that was on Spanish.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, he's done a good job at Belgium. It's the best they've done in a tournament forever. So, but I mean, it's just, to me, doing one good job at one turn. I mean, suddenly, how can you just look past an entire resume? Okay, I mean, hey, I'm not going to cry if it happens. I'm certainly no Barcelona fan.
Yeah.
I'm certainly no fan of Barcelona, so, I mean, I just wonder, does that mean that Tony Hibbert and Romelu Lukaku are going to Barca?
Well, I heard...
Where's Fellaini?
I heard Lukaku said he's going to take a price cut to go to Inter, so...
I think Lukaku wants to go to Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where he wants to go because they suit his pace, which is slow and shit.
Yeah. It's too bad Italy has that whole, racism problem.
Yeah, well, money talks, he don't care.
Yeah, you can just talk to Balotelli about it. It's fine.
Oh, Jesus.
So there you go.
Help me, Jesus.
So Martinez has gone from Swansea to Wigan, where he did beat Manchester City in an FA Cup final, remember, to Everton, to Belgium, to possibly Barcelona. Wow. Just wow.
All right.
Anyway, Roberto Martinez, future manager of Barcelona. So that is the news and notes. That'll take us to the watch for Wes. What you watching in the week that was or the week that will be?
Bro, I've had a big week. So I've been to 3 movies this week.
Oh my, that's a lot.
Yeah, since the last time I did, I've been to 3 movies. I started off, where did I go? I think it was Saturday night, I went to see John Wick 3 Parabellum.
How was that?
It was magnificent, as John Wick is just like pretty much the greatest. You know, I saw this meme, as we like to call them, on Facebook, as we like to call Facebook. I saw it a while back. It was, you know, if you had to have one person to keep you alive, who would it be? You know, choose who it would be. And your choices were, you know, like John Wick was on there, James Bond, Jason Bourne, and there were about 3 other ones, I think. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, shit. You know, John Wick just kills everybody.
Yeah, he does.
And, you know, when you look at it, you know, unfortunately for, you know, people around, top of my head, you know, people around them die all the time.
Yeah.
So I think I want John Wick. And after John Wick 3, yeah, I haven't changed my mind one bit. He's a straight badass. The knife fight scene in the beginning of the movie is absolutely spectacular. The gunplay, as always, is fantastic. He does find himself thrown through a lot of this.
Oh boy!
And at one point, I was getting like, okay, we see enough glass. But I mean, at the end of it, it was freaking awesome. It was great. I thought it was a little better than 2. And apparently, there's going to be 4 coming next. Yeah. So long live John Wick, and keep it going forever.
Just remember, don't you ever want to show how evil someone is? Have them kill a puppy. And then you can create a film franchise out of it.
Oh, goodness, you don't fuck a with a wick.
Exactly.
The man was retired and they brought him out.
They did.
Second one I'm not going to talk so much about, but Memorial Day and saw Aladdin.
How was that?
It was good. I mean, it was a fun little movie. Will Smith was much better. You know, Will Smith initially in the previews. And they just had the really quick sequences of him as the genie. It was like, okay, this is weird and creepy and this doesn't look right. When you get into the movie, it's a lot better.
Okay, that's good.
The music was great. You know, I know you with a music lady.
Oh, and I love the original Aladdin the animated.
Oh well,
one.
you'll like this.
Mm.
So you two need to head on down to the Alamo, have you a delicious meal, and watch Aladdin together. I think you will both thoroughly enjoy it.
Alamo Theaters, if you'd like to sponsor the podcast, just let us know.
Exactly. Or you, AMC, who I subscribe to your A-list, and that's how I saw 3 movies.
Are you Regal Cinemas, since you're literally right across the street from my apartment?
There you go. Even though you guys haven't hooked me up that much in the past. But I would also like to thank AMC for it being my birthday month. Free large popcorn and a free large drink. Woo! Which I cashed in today for my 3rd movie of the week.
Cash in.
And then I went and saw Brightburn today.
Wait, what?
Oh my goodness, do you not know about Brightburn?
I'm gonna look it up real quick. That name sounds really familiar.
So basically, Brightburn is almost a reimagined Superman. If Superman at age 12 had incidents and issues and became horribly disturbed and evil.
Oh, this is the one with Elizabeth Banks. Yeah. Okay.
It is a genre called superhero horror.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty fucking good. I would recommend Brightburn. It is an R-rated superhero movie. And we say superhero as in he has superpowers. He is no hero. He is very much. And it is a creepy ass little 12-year-old kid. And hilarity does not ensue. But there will be blood. Man, I thought you would have been all over that bad boy.
I saw it one time. I saw the trailer like a couple months ago, and then I just completely forgot about it.
Well, it was good. You know, I see a lot of movies because I didn't go to 3, 4, 5 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one I just kept seeing. I really didn't have that much of a great desire to go see it. But, you know, I was looking today and I was like, well, you know, I could go see John Wick 3 again, which I was about to do. Start till later in the afternoon. And then I was like, well, I could always go with the Old Faithful and go see Endgame again.
Yeah.
Because I've only seen it 3 times. So, you know, why not make it old lucky number 4? But then Brightburn, it was a perfect time slot for me. It started well. And I was like, you know what? It looks pretty good and disturbing, so I'm down with it. And due to that, I give it 2 thumbs up. And they may have left some room for a sequel. So we'll see what happens. But yes, it is. What if our superhero decided not to be our hero?
Nice. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I've already talked about this. I don't think I have. We actually went a couple. Maybe it wasn't last weekend. So I guess I just never talked about this. We actually went to go see the Detective Pikachu movie.
Oh, okay.
Quite good. There's one character whose actress is actually terrible, who is acting like she's in a Disney movie and is actually really bad. The main dude guy, he's good. He's fine. Mm-hmm. He's super all right. Ryan Reynolds is amazing. He gets to say,
as he usually is.
He gets to say dirty things as Pikachu that I wasn't expecting him to be able to say. So that was great. Yeah, it's really enjoyable. Pretty. What's the word I'm looking for here? Pretty predictable in how it works. Bill Nighy also in it. Bill Nighy's always really good. But yeah, if you like Pokemon, if you have you don't have to be like a super fan of Pokemon, but yeah, if you like that sort of thing, this was definitely an inoffensive and good movie, I'd say. Again, except for literally this one character. Not Hirsch. It was actually a really good movie. So yeah, Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. Somehow. Spend a lot of money. So yeah, that's when then, of course, as you did mention, Archer does start back tonight. So very excited to start back on the Archer train. That's going to be so much fun.
Archer, 1999.
So high tech. Very, very excited for that. But speaking of 1999, Wes, there was blood on a wrestling mat this weekend, just like it's the Attitude Era. Wes, we're going back, but it's not Raw. It's AEW, but so we're gonna get So Elite Raw. Take it away.
AEW, All Elite Wrestling, the brainchild, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. And we had our first AEW pay-per-view, the big one. I believe they filled about a 16,000 seat arena. So, they didn't skimp on this, man. They went big time. $50 pay-per-view to get. They had it on DirecTV, Dish Network. You could get it through there. They had 4 or 5 pay-per-view outlets, and also you could stream it on Bleacher Report Live.
Oh boy,
we know how well that works. So needless to say, that wasn't an option for me. But anyway, thanks a lot, Bleacher Report. But it was a very well-received show. I'll just hit some of the highlights because there are some, and the thing is, this was almost a standalone show at this point because they are literally starting a brand new company. There are no old storylines. They've basically been running house shows. They do have a TV contract. They will be on TNT starting in, I believe, September or October.
Okay.
I believe I saw was going to be the kickoff date. So that's very exciting. Let's look at the big ones real quick. These are the ones that really matter. Started the night off with it's called the Casino Battle Royal, and the winner earned a future world title shot, and it was won by the Hangman Adam. With the owners of AEW, is seen as a rising star in the business. So it was smart. Go ahead and put him in there, and one of the younger guys who, has just huge potential to go forward. He's gotten over well, especially during his time with Bullet Club, when he was in Ring of Honor and in Japan subsequently. Adam Page has a lot going forward for him, and right now he holds a future world title shot, and we'll get to his opponent a little later when we talk. Next big one we had. All right, we're kind of skipping some of the undercard here, and here's where we start hitting the big ones. The AAA World Tag Team Championship. The Young Bucks, once again owners of AEW, they defeated the Lucha Brothers. AAA is the big promotion in Mexico. I don't believe they've gotten to the AEW tag team titles or anything like that. You figure the Young Bucks are going to have a lot to do with that when it's time. But the Young Bucks did defeat the Lucha Brothers in what was a really fun, high-flying match, as you would expect between those two teams. And then the two big singles matches of the night. The first one has been called Two Sons to Their Late Father. Cody Rhodes defeated his brother Dustin Rhodes, his half-brother Dustin Rhodes, formerly known as Gold Dust in WWE. And as you mentioned, that was called, quote, an absolute masterpiece of grit and emotion painted with the blood of the 50-year-old Dustin, which covered the ring. They had the legendary WWE Hebner was actually the ref for the match. He's been in so many huge moments over the years in wrestling history. Quote, Dusty Rhodes was undoubtedly smiling down from above on these half brothers who told such a compelling story in a short time once this match was announced. The one they told inside the ring was even better. So, those two finally unshackled from Vince McMahon's creative influence, and they put on a show that people have been waiting to see for a long time. It was really good. It was really fantastic. and a very fitting match between those two brothers. Once again, a match that we've been kind of looking for a long time to see. After the match, a moment which may be the first shot across the bow in the future war, they had an Iron Throne set up at the top of the stage that looked very, very similar to a throne that maybe the King of Kings, a guy by the name of Triple H, would sit on. And Cody Rhodes was handed a sledgehammer, also a tool very well associated with the same King of Kings. Walked up to the top of the ramp and the crowd chanted AEW, AEW. Cody Rhodes took a sledgehammer and demolished the throne. So, I mean, you got to guess that's kind of what that was aimed at. Bret the Hitman Hart, WWE Hall, excuse me. He introduced the AEW Championship, the belt. He had Adam Page come out. Some stuff ensued. I mean, it was just what it was, but Bret Hart did present the world title. And as we said, Hangman Page is participants in that first world title match, and he will be facing none other than Chris Jericho for that title. Chris Jericho defeated Kenny Omega to earn the future world title shot. This was a match that just absolutely tore the house down back at Wrestle Kingdom in Japan just after the beginning of the year. Chris Jericho is doing literally the best work of his life right now. Once again, another one kind of freed from the shackles of WWE creative. They've put this whole thing together. This has been a 6 to 8 month build right now to get to this match. And it was phenomenal. He beat Omega. And then, as he's in the ring celebrating, and it seems like that's the biggest moment of the night. Oh no, the first shock and the first shocking introduction to the AEW roster as the man formerly known as Dean Ambrose. He's now back to his old name of John Moxley. John Moxley showed up through the crowd and did what we'll have to see, I guess, what it's called going forward, formerly known as the Dirty Deeds Double DDT. He dropped Omega. He dropped the referee. Dirty Deeds. And if you want to talk about the roof coming off of a damn place, it was absolutely phenomenal. It says here, quote, Moxley with a swagger reminiscent of Steve Austin, then brawled through the crowd with Omega before landing a final Dirty Deeds on top of the oversized poker chips, followed by lifting Omega onto his shoulders and dropping him onto the stage below. So, yeah. So not only did we get an amazing match to finish the night, we got the shocking debut of now known John Moxley. So, Ed, the Shield is already making waves.
Oh, my
Everywhere
God.
they go, they're making waves. There was a video. Moxley's release, or his contract from WWE has just run out in the last few weeks.
Oh, man.
That's what really made this special. They played this timing beautifully. There's been a promo video released. Moxley will fight in Japan on June the 5th. Don't know who against. Well, we may know who against. I can't remember. But that's something to really look forward to. So Ambrose kind of doing what Cody Rhodes did the first time when he left WWE. He's making the rounds to all those places he hadn't been able to go. And, it was an amazing moment. And I'm going to tell you, man, when the show starts, I'm probably going to be tuning in at least early and see if they can hook me. I mean, you bring in basically a Dean Ambrose character who has his own. I guess I got to get used to calling him John Moxley now, but he has his own freedom to do what he wants, and he's not being held down by WWE creative. And when you say that, let's go to a little addendum to this. It dropped today. Today's Talk with Jericho podcast had John Moxley, Dean Ambrose on it, and they basically went for an hour and a half, and it was no holds barred. Said exactly what the hell he thought. And let's put it this way: I don't think he's getting a Christmas card from Vince McMahon anytime soon. But it was a lot of talk about, frustration with creative and with everything being scripted. And the way he put it, he said, I fell in love with wrestling. He said, I have two loves in my life. One is He said, I fell in love with wrestling because of the promos, because of being able to say, and he talk people into the arena. He said, I feel I can talk people in the arena. I've proven that. He said, I want to be able to do what I want to do. I think I can do a whole hell of a lot creative ever gave me to do a promo on. He said it's not going to be the goofy Dean Ambrose character, the wild, out of control, borderline goofy character. It's not going to be that anymore. And I mean, as long as we've been doing this, Ambrose, man,
oh yeah,
I always felt he kind of had that mixture of Stone Cold and Roddy Piper, just that edge to him. And WWE kind of had a way of from time to time, and just had him doing like silly, stupid shit. Not going to happen here. He is going to be treated as a top star. He's going to be one of the big headline guys in this company, and he's going to have a chance to sink or swim on his own. And they called it Double or Nothing. Pretty much what Dean Ambrose has gone in is Double or Nothing, because he had the big offer to stay in WWE. And he said the way he saw it, his truck is paid off, his house is paid off, his mom's house is paid off. He said, as frustrated as I was with WWE, no amount of zeros would have kept. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be thrilling to see what John Moxley Unleashed can do. And it's like the article I was point. Who can wait for this weekly show to get here? Because, while certainly they don't have the roster depth that WWE has, at the top of that roster, it is going to rival and probably be better than any WWE has going on right now, or has had going on for a long time.
Well, it certainly doesn't hurt that, the product on WWE has just been really bad lately.
It is, and it's the word is neutered. Mm-hmm. Because, man, here's the thing. WWE, talent-wise, WWE is at a spot right now. They've got as much, if not more, name talent up and down that card than they ever had. I mean, when you get past the top guys, you're talking about guys like Samoa Joe and, a Finn Balor. And, I mean, just going down the line, you've got phenomenal guys in the company who just aren't being allowed to do what they can do. And it's because WWE is so nitpicky and wants to control every single thing that comes out of someone's mouth that, don't get me wrong, the product in the ring is great. Mm-hmm. But the stories, which is what drives wrestling, the storylines, the heat, the why should I care that these two guys are fighting each other? Why should I care what's personal about this? That is where WWE is failing so bad right now. And AEW, I think they may have the formula to do it. And it's, people are trying to say, oh, well, this is competition. Not financially, no, it's not. Mm-hmm. WWE just signed a contract with Fox. Don't forget, they haven't even started the $1 billion contract with Fox. I mean, they are far and away, size-wise, obviously infrastructure-wise, history-wise, money-wise, they're so far and away above AEW, it's not funny. But AEW, getting a TNT contract, it at least gives fans an option. Mm-hmm. And the best option that can come from this is that AEW starts making some waves, and it forces WWE to have to somewhat unleash their guys. Mm-hmm. You've got to let them off the chain. And if they are able to factor that, Well, guys can leave WWE and go to AEW and make really good. They might not make Vince money, but they can still make good money, and they can make up that money by going and working in Japan. That hopefully that will scare WWE into evolving. Mm-hmm. Because that's the biggest thing. Right now, WWE, they fell into the whole John Cena is everybody's buddy thing, and they have yet to evolve from that. That's not a shot against Cena, but just the PG era is what we're looking at. It's PG, and to a certain extent, man, that is not cutting it anymore. That's why the numbers are down across the board. They're down on TV. They're down in ticket sales. But right now, Vince McMahon just wants to keep pushing the same thing and pushing for John Cena. So.
Well, we'll see. I hope it works out. I like that. I mean, because it's not going to be competition, especially if they don't. When they get to TNT, what night is that? Is that going to be still Saturday?
I have not heard a night yet.
Okay. So
I highly doubt, at least to start with, because you're committing suicide, I doubt they're going to run it against WWE programming.
Yeah.
Now, SmackDown apparently is going to be changing nights when they go to. So, that might. So that would open up Tuesday night if you want that, but Thursday night, Wednesday night, you don't usually get the. Thursday night's more must-see TV on the networks. So I could see them maybe trying to slide into that Tuesday night.
Tuesday night would be
especially since people are used to watching wrestling now on Tuesday night.
Well, not just that, but could you imagine a world where you have, because now you're not having to directly compete in terms of eyeballs, but now it's every Monday, here's Raw, and now 24 hours later, you can potentially put on a better product and have the direct comparison coming after it. So that's a way to compete without directly competing, which would be fascinating.
And if AEW wants to go the route of recognizing WWE, I mean, you can directly respond to anything that happens on Monday night.
Oh yeah.
So, and now that said, I'm guessing it is. But we'll see.
All right. Well, that's the new So Elite Raw segment that we have here. So enjoy that coming up in the next little bit here as that gets going and eventually becomes a permanent fixture on the TV. But that is going to do it here for this edition of the AFA Pod. Once again, thanks to our presenters, including NGSC Sports, Alicia's Pillows and Things, and the Ultimate Sports Channel. You can find them on the Soch. You can also find us there as well on Twitter. As a collective, we are at AFA Pod. Wes, you are?
I'm at Wes Bradshaw 21.
I'm at Edward Green. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube via our parent show, The All New Sports Show. You can also email us at that address, allnewsportsshow@gmail.com. Thanks to our podcast providers, including Podbean.com, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, the TuneIn Radio app, Google Play Music, and the iTunes Music Store. We will be back live next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we will.
Okay. So I'm sure there will be absolutely nothing to talk about from this weekend. It'll be a rather drab and boring podcast to come out. Certainly no VAR decisions will be made at all. No. So anyway, we'll talk about that. Any more deals that happen as the transfer period is getting underway here in super silly season, as it looks like it's going to be. Hey, maybe Neymar will be back to Barcelona by then. We'll see. Who knows? It's craziness.
Silly season is coming, folks.
Jesus Christ.
For Ed, it's just mind-numbing drivel.
Yeah.
For me, it's basically Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year to me. I love silly season. Love it. Ed knows I love it.
I do know. I hear about it every time. So we'll talk about that as it comes up. But Wes, before we get out of here, is there anything else you'd like to mention?
Man, college baseball. The regionals are kicking off. If you're listening to this on Thursday, they start tomorrow and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to say is East Carolina getting a 10 seed is just abominable bullshit. But whatever. That's what happens when you play in the AAC and not one of the pretty little name conferences.
You mean the SEC, the greatest conference ever known to God's green earth?
I mean, here's my thing. So last week, Georgia Tech's ranked like 12th in the country. And then suddenly they win the ACC tournament and they're the number 3 overall seed. Come on. What's up with that?
I don't know, man.
And half the SECs, as we know, I'm not a hater by any means, but half the damn SECs like in the top 8. Oh my goodness. But it's all good. Pirates, if East Carolina can win their regional, which we do host, NC State, Campbell, and Quinnipiac will be in our regional. So us and NC State and Campbell should all be, that should be some good baseball in Greenville. If seeding holds, we will travel to Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Pirates ain't scared to go to Louisville. East Carolina were swept by the number 1 overall seed, UCLA. We went to UCLA earlier this year. Played really well. Just couldn't beat the number 1 team in the country. Sorry for partying. But I'm very comfortable going wherever we got to go with East Carolina at this point, and I think this could be the year we hit Omaha.
Gotta say, some of these, I'm actually just seeing these regional matchups now for like the first time. Like I knew like pretty much the bracket, but I'm seeing like, okay, so it's UCLA versus Oregon State. We got Georgia Tech versus UNC, Georgia versus LSU, Arkansas versus Ole Miss, and we got like Texas Tech versus Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't do anything to maybe. I mean, God, right there, you've got like 3 of those are same conference.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't have just flipped like you couldn't have just flipped the 7 and the 8.
That's crazy.
No. Or maybe the 6 and the 8 and, done something besides 2 Big 12 and 2 SEC teams? Come on.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Come on.
That's
now, of course, we say that, and we know there's going to be upset, so it won't end up being
for sure.
Probably.
Yeah, that's
4
conference matchups in the super regionals.
They suck, man. Yeah, I mean, because you got a Pac.
Yeah, there's a Pac-12.
Yeah,
there's an
2 SEC and an
ACC.
What was the ACC one?
Georgia Tech versus UNC.
Oh shit, that's right. Damn. And then you said was there 1 or 2 SEC ones?
There's
Georgia and
there's 2 SEC
Georgia and LSU. Yeah.
And then there's the Big 10 one in Texas Tech and Oklahoma State.
Or Big 12.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
The Big 12 with 10 teams. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Jesus Christ, come on, man.
That seems really weird.
Yeah, I don't know if they realize they did that. Maybe it's too late. Can't fix this.
Wow. Anyway.
Whatever. Hey, I mean, either way, man, it's damn good baseball. So, I mean, we're down to watch it. They want to show it to us. We're down to watch it. So.
Damn, son. Damn. Well, there you go. And as always, check out the ESPN Bases Loaded app or channel. When they do it, they do a lot of good stuff there with their whip around coverage especially on Friday and Saturday when there's a lot of matches games going on at the same time. So go check that out. So for McCall and Crime, Wes Bradshaw, I am Edward Green. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Foreign Affair podcast. And until next time, stay safe in Madrid and just enjoy the football.
And sleep tight. Raleigh, Friday night, coming to see Hootie and his blowfish.
I want to be with you.
But I don't live in.
That's it.
This show is sponsored by Alicia's Pillows and Things. Check out the Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things, where you will find home decor you will not be able to resist at prices anybody can afford. Check out the pillows and stools of your favorite sports teams. Maybe you want a set of your kid's favorite cartoon or movie character. You can also get full body and neck pillows as well. Log on to ngscsports.com and go to the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage to complete your order. It makes a great gift for Christmas at an affordable price. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.